Okay, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA today with Jarrett Wilbraham before his upcoming fight on Hex. How are you, bro?
Good, my man. Good, my man. Yourself? How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, man. Nothing to complain about, like I said. So how you feeling, man, in general? How's life? How's your training? How's everything going?
I'm just loving it, to be honest. Just really enjoying the process. And to be honest, I feel like it's the first time I felt that way in like the last 4 years, because I put a lot of pressure on myself, committing to the sport full time. And I knew I was catching up to everyone else, you know, has been competing since they were a young kid in this sport. So I think I had a lot of pressure on myself to get myself to a level where I could really believe in myself. But now I feel I'm finally there. Life's just really good. I'm really happy with how everything's unfolding.
That's good, man. I think here and there I've chatted with you and you kind of sounded like you've had some conflicts in your head about sticking with MMA at times. Does that ever pop into your head, or it's just here and there sometimes thinking about things too much?
No, I've never thought of giving it up. I've struggled. Like, things have been hard, you know, when you commit the way that I have, living in a van for 4 years, where everyone's going home to a nice comfy bed and a lounge to sit on. Sometimes I just feel like, fuck, I'm doing this a lot harder than everyone else. But I've persisted, pushed through the other side, and yeah, like I feel like if I can get through what I've already been through, man, I can do anything, to be honest.
Man, they say like hardship builds character, bro. So, you know, like you know, Pitbull Grimer, I don't know if you ever heard of him. Back when I was like competing, he's a bit of a mainstay of Muay Thai and kickboxing in Sydney. He used to like sleep in the ring and stuff before his fights and that, just to, you know, kind of do it a little bit tougher and focus on the fight and that, and kind of it used to fuel him. I remember him saying he'd think about who's making him do that. He'd focus on his opponent, making his opponents making him sleep in the ring and keeping him away from his wife and everything. So, you know, build a bit of character along the way. It's not a bad thing, you know?
Oh, exactly. I do. I feel like I've put myself in a position financially where I've only got one way out, and that's to succeed. So every minute of the day, you know, I'm putting in extra effort. Most guys are going training, then they're going resting and coming back at night. I'm training. I'm going back here to my old man's house where I've got a gym. I'm training again, and then I'm going back to training in the afternoon. So I feel like I've just been grinding because I'm in a position where I just can't fail, you know. Otherwise, I'm going back to laying bricks, and fuck that.
Well, you have to go all in, don't you? In this sport, that's what people say. You have to go all in. You can't be half-assed and half in, right? Like, if you really want to have a go, that's the way you got to be, yeah?
You got to put the hours in, you know. You can't be letting these guys put in more hours than you. You can't even really have a life outside of fighting, you know. I have to be careful because I'm a person, I'm like hypo, jump from one thing to another. I got so many hobbies. I just have to put them on the back burner and realize what's most important and really go tunnel vision on that one thing. And yeah, this sport is just an obsession. The way that it helps me think, helps me feel, keeps my mind busy, you know. I'm not thinking about other things. I've just got my eye on the prize, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah, bro. And eye on the prize, bro, fighting Sam Kakembo, June 14, Hex 31 in Melbourne Pavillion, bro, going into some enemy territory to take out Sam. How you feeling about that fight? Yeah,
confident, man. Like, this is a fight that like I have wanted for a long time. I've had a hard run the end of last year and then into this year, early this year, with a few injuries and stuff like that going on, that's just put me on the sidelines. But as soon as I was back, you know, I wanted to fight as often as I could. I wanted May, and then I wanted to back up June. I couldn't get anything for May. Was trying for Eternal and a few other promotions that they didn't come back with an opponent, but I'm just happy to have this one locked in for June.
Man, he's a solid fighter. It's not an easy one for you to get back into, right? He's only had 2 losses to Colby, right? And who else was it? Bayada, yeah?
Yeah, he lost to them too. Yeah, it's a tough fight. He's a skilled fighter, you know, and he's in a good position too, good record. We've both got similar records, so we're both at that point in our career where we need to face each other, and one of us moves on, the other one stays behind.
Yeah, that's it, bro. Hey, just listening to your talk on that podcast. Was it Benny P? Was that what it was?
Yeah, Benny P. Yeah.
Just noting your like you have a bit of friction between you and some of those guys, Kakembo and Kaan, Ofli, and that. Is that something you intentionally kind of fall into, or is that something that just happens because you just don't get along?
Oh, it happened. It all started at the weigh-ins, really, when Kaan didn't turn up to the weigh-ins, and you know, they were going to call me and show me him on the scales, which never happened. You know, like they video called me, but they didn't show him on the scales, and I wanted to see him on the scales making the weight. Yeah. He was struggling to make weight, and I just didn't believe that he even made it, and I kind of felt like everyone was against me. That rubbed me up the wrong way. So going into that fight with Kaan, I was more focused on hurting him than winning the fight. Yeah. And you know, I succeeded in hurting him, but I didn't.
That didn't show at all. You were nice and collected and calm in that fight. That's what I was thinking.
I lost my shit, which was a massive learning experience for me. I'm glad that it happened. You know, I realize I have that tendency to just resort back to how I've always fought before I got into martial arts, which was just meet them with as much violence as I possibly could and just throw them off their game. But when you get to the higher level, eventually that will work against you. So lesson learned.
Bro, it's a good thing to have in your back pocket though, because there's times when it gets like that, or times when you might want to use it. Look at what's his name the other day? He threw down in the center of the ring, Holloway. That wasn't no technique in standing off. That was let's throw down. You know, it's a good thing to have sometimes.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it is. Some people they need to find it within themselves, and some people need to really pull back on it. And I think I'm at that end of the scale where I can get way too caught up in the violence of it all and forget about, you know, using that technique and that sort of thing. But yeah, and then Sam him and I went back and forth. Like when I posted highlights of that Kaan fight, he basically jumped on there saying I was losing every round, this and that, which I think is just bullshit. It's kind of concerning, to be honest, if he feels that he did have inside knowledge that I was down every round, because sometimes you feel like if you go back and watch a few of his fights, I don't know what the judges are scoring, because it was a split decision against Abdullah. That was just a one-sided beating. Like he got his ass handed to him, and then one judge gives it to him. It's like, come on, man. Fuck, like,
does he have a big following? You got to be concerned.
That's why I don't. Sorry, what was that?
I was just saying, does he have a big following at the shows, bro? Because sometimes that affects things, right? Like the scream of the crowd and that. They'll like, you might hit him and then he hits you and the crowd erupts and it kind of influences judges, you know?
Maybe. I haven't been there when he's even fought. So he is from Melbourne. He should have a fair few guys there to support him. But, you know, that in itself is kind of concerning if that can sway a judge's opinion as well.
Yeah, bro. Unfortunately, they're just people, and nearly every show there's some fucked up decision, even at the top levels of the game, right? So it's tricky. I don't know. Maybe one day there'll be what's it called? A computing type solution. What's it called?
Like an artificial intelligence solution.
AI stuff, bro. An AI solution that can actually just pick up everything and work it out naturally. It might be something in the future. Who knows? Who knows?
Bro, or maybe just judges that have fought. You know, like having judges that have fought and understand the game. That would help.
Yeah, true. They can't just come from boxing, whatever that happens sometimes, right?
Mm.
Man, just talking about opponents, how do you focus on your opponents? Do you I was just thinking then with the last couple of opponents that you didn't like those guys. There's an old boxer called Marvin Hagler. I don't know if you followed him at all, beast of a boxer. He's the way he sort of focused on things, he hated his opponents for trying to take his shit away, and he hated them after the fight even, man. Do you ever feel like that, or you just neutral and then just some of them rub you up the wrong way?
Oh, I don't have to hate them, to be honest. Like I said, I have that tendency to get too violent. So, like, even if I like the guy, I have the tendency to get too violent. So I don't really have to dwell on disliking the person. I think through camp, like, I think so much about me beating him, me hurting him. By the end, you kind of do start to feel a little bit sorry for them, you know?
Yeah, that's it, bro. So what's your kind of idea on the fight, bro? Like, what do you think your kind of general idea of the fight and how it'll flow?
I think, like, you know, he has one round in him sort of thing, and he has a tendency to sort of get tired pretty easy. He usually is opportunistic. He likes to jump on something early if somebody slips or falls and try to get on the back and finish the fight early. But I think, like, you can see on his face when he fights that he doesn't really like being dragged into deep waters, and that's where I enjoy going. So I feel that it's going to go into deep waters, and then it's just going to come down to, like, whose will breaks first, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm still just having flashbacks of the Kaan Ofli fight in my head. I'm just wondering if something will just snag you out of your game plan. You'll just go sick in the first round.
Well, back then, you know, like, I wasn't entirely confident with my abilities in how I fought.
Yeah.
Felt like I had to force things all the time and, like, rely on aggression and those sorts of things. And that fight was a long time ago, you know, I think, yeah, last year in February. It feels like it was a couple of years ago, and it feels that it was that long ago because that's how much I've improved. I'm just a completely different fighter now. And the one thing about me, if you go back and watch all my fights in, like, order, you'll see that I'm never the same fighter. I'm always completely different. And I think that's one thing that sets me apart from a lot of these guys, is that you can go back and watch their first fight or their last fight. You're going to see the same tendencies, the same patterns, the same things that they do all the time. I'm trying to change that. I want to evolve in this sport. The sport's evolving so quick, and if we don't, we'll get left behind.
That's good, man. And it means that it's more difficult for people to prepare for you too if you're constantly changing your game and upping your game and bringing new elements, right?
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, the way that they prepare for me, it kind of works against them.
Bro, on that, the freestyle MMA gym, bro, it's good because you get a lot of visitors in that, right? Like, you get to get different looks. You're not just trapped with the same guys all the time. I see lots of the CKB guys popping in, different people from Australia and that around. That must help a bit, right?
It does. It helps a lot. You get the different looks. You know, it's good character building, good confidence building when you're constantly there training with the best guys in the world. So we're blessed to have Volk here, and he's a lot of the reason why a lot of these guys come to train. And yeah, you just look at the crew that we have now is insane, to be honest. I feel like we haven't all been able to fight because things have been slow, but we're all pretty much matched up now, and I think everyone will see that we have, like, the strongest team when it comes to, like, bantamweight, featherweight fighters in the country.
Nice, man. Hey, with those visitors and that, man, is there any that's kind of stand out to you that was, like, pretty amazing to work with from either CKB or anywhere around Australia that come over?
Oh, you know, I always really enjoy working with Frank Hickman when he comes over. I feel that he just builds and adds new things to my game and helps me look at the sport completely differently because he's just so different, and the way he just does stuff is very, very technical. So it's always good having him there. He's a coach himself, so it's, yeah, I like it when Frank's here. It's good. He's good value, good dude, good human.
Nice, man, and he brings the banter too, right? Between him and Joe and you guys, it must be crazy in there.
Yeah, it's always wild banter.
Bro, I was actually just thinking about Bangtao because I'm thinking about going over to Thailand with the family soon. I'm just thinking I should try and get down that way, but it looks a bit tricky. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Phuket, so I don't know. We'll see. I wouldn't mind going there just for fun, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been there either, but I'm heaps keen to check it out. Maybe after this fight, I can go there for a bit.
Thailand in general is a good place, man, to check out. It's a nice place, like something different, especially as a change from the Aussie culture and that. Yeah, it just depends what you like, but you see a lot of top-level talent going there, so it'd be definitely worth checking out the place, right?
Oh yeah, I've trained at Tiger. I've gone there like 3 times, but
Yep.
I just haven't checked out Bangtao.
Yeah, nice. All right, man. So, what's your final prediction for the fight?
I just plan on finishing the fight. To be honest, I don't. want it going to decision. I don't really even trust it going to decision. So, yeah, just knockout in the later rounds, if not early. But yeah, I think when when it goes to deep waters, I feel like the chances of me finishing the fight just go up.
Nice, bro. Looking forward to it, man. As normal, I'm looking forward to your success. Want to see you get to those levels. You've obviously sacrificed a lot to, you know, get where you are, and, you know, sacrificing day to day just to be the best that you can be. So props to you, man, and looking forward to you getting a win.
Thanks, Toby. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for all that you do, bro. Really appreciate it.
No worries, bro. Cheers, man. Thanks for your time, eh?